Hello, everyone. How are you? Hey, hey, hey. How are you? Today we're going to talk about how we can improve team communication and also collaboration. So I'm just going to, however, talk about how we can form teams and ensure that down the road we actually can achieve this goal of great communication and collaboration. So, what are some of the things that we need to do? Couple of things that I'm going to talk about, and one of them is that we have to be cognizant of whether it's a new team or a team that is already existing. Okay, so when we are studying any type of work or any project, and this is specifically for businesses, if you're studying something like that, different projects or work, you want to make sure that number one, if you have a new team, for example, this scenario would apply for consulting, management consulting or consulting, whereby you have an enterprise project. These are usually bigger projects, and they're bringing in different teams. The teams are being formed, and so there may be new people that do not know each other at all. And what you want to do is, as you start off, is that you want to make sure at the onset that actually you are going a little bit deeper than just telling them what the goals, and objectives are for this project. Because one of the things that you want to do to prevent down the road is you want to encourage people, one, to get to know each other, but also for each one to know how they are contributing to this project. Okay. So you find that many times in these projects, there's going to be like any other thing. There will be conflicting personalities, there will be differing personalities or, interests, and or there'll be differing thoughts. Of course, everyone's background is different. So someone may think something is actually a good scenario, the other one will say maybe it's not. So the best thing to start out then is that when you're creating new teams, you have to ensure that you are at the onset introducing each team member and also what each team member will contribute to the overall objective of the project or the work that is being done. So one of the things you're going to do is you want to create and show what matrix will be used. You also want to show milestones of the levels that will show that something is actually done or in a done status. And then as you go forward, one of the other things is you're going to definitely have or want to show what the expectations are. Okay. So the best thing to do this is right at the beginning. Why? Because it's going to cut down on the confusion and everything else that's going to happen. So, like I've said, this usually will apply in where you have enterprise, either work, where they're bigger teams, or also enterprise projects. And so when a team is forming, you make sure that you not collaborate, but you introduce everyone and what exactly everyone is going to do and contribute to the teams, because you want to ensure that everyone knows that anyone who is in the team is qualified to be there, and also that um, anyone that is being assigned a different team knows, sorry, a different task, knows what it is they'll be doing. And as you go around doing the introductions, again, everyone will know who is who and what their contribution is to the overall project. So second, you want, if it's an existing team, this may be usually maybe a smaller business, an SMB, which is small to medium business, or even just any team that may not be as big. And it may not necessarily be a project, or it could be a project, but it could be where this is, an ongoing type of work where they're working on different projects, or it could also be where a small business maybe is supporting a client of theirs. Okay. So they already exist and they know each other, they've been working with each other. So in a case like this, what you want to do is you can actually go straight to describing what the work will be about, the project will be about, what the problem statement is, and therefore what the objective is to resolve that problem. In other words, the project is about providing a solution to that client or providing a solution, period. So in this case, for an existing project team, you want to ensure that, you're communicating what the visions are, what the priorities are, what the direction will be, and the goals right away. That should be okay. Okay. The third thing that you want to do is you definitely want communication what the goals and expectations are. Now, if everyone now, at least in this instance, knows what the project will be about or the work will be about that is being done, you as a project lead, you as a manager who is going to work on the operations part of it, or in this case, you could also be a project manager, you then want to communicate the goals of the work for the team, what everyone will be working on, what the communications will be, the expectations will be, what really will make, what matrices or will be used to make sure that people know what entails something that is being done, has been done or completed, something that has an issue, how will they go about that? And also, if there is an issue, how can they label that or classify that? Are you going to have, urgent that this should be worked on hands down? You just leave everything and make sure that you address what the issue is, medium level, low level, and things like that. So those are things that are very, very helpful when you are creating or starting a team. The next thing is the fourth one, you want to have accessibility and create a cadence for check-in. So what I mean by this is that, first of all, accessibility is that you're going to create, let's say for Microsoft, you could use a SharePoint platform, which is called, usually documentation or anything else is shared, and people have access to that. Also, for any small business, that's for enterprise, for any small business, medium to small, most of the people use something like a Google Drive, okay? There could also be others. You have the Dropboxes, you have Box, anything else that people can share documentation or any type of communication that has already been told to the people that are part of this overall work or overall project. You want to make sure that people have access to that, that they can see what exactly, because sometimes we all forget, people may want to reference that. So ensure that the right access is provided to the right people. There may be, of course, different levels, like senior managers or senior team leads or things like that may have more access, for example, than someone who maybe doesn't need to know certain information, okay? The other thing with that, if you have accessibility, is to have a cadence for check-in. The cadence in this case is usually you set it an ongoing, regular schedule of either people having a weekly meeting, or in this case now, especially with automation that is coming, that by a certain time they have sent you maybe their status, or if they have any issues, you've communicated how they can actually communicate that over to you as a project manager or as a manager or lead of the team, that they can actually, have those check-ins between within regular time frames. Okay, this could be a day and time. Usually, you give deadlines. This could be also whenever needed. For example, where you can say maybe you have an open door policy whereby the open door could be actually virtual or it could be a physical door, maybe if you have an office, whereby if someone has a problem, that they can come actually and talk to you. You as the person who helped them with that, whatever the issue is, okay? So those are the things, those are some of the things that you need when you're either providing accessibility or creating a cadence for your check-in. The other thing that needs to be had is that the team needs to feel that they're part of the solution. Therefore, you need to be asking for feedback from the team and really asking for their thoughts, because also they're the ones that are really maybe doing most of the deeper work. You as a manager, as a project lead, as a lead, or someone at least managing a team in this case, you may be most times that you're not doing the little details of the work. Sometimes you might be, but sometimes you might not. And also, even though you are, it's also very, very, very important that the team members feel that they're part of the solution. Therefore, during your cadence meetings or your cadence check-in times, make sure that you're getting feedback from everyone. The other thing is ensure that you're getting feedback from each and every team member. We all have different temperaments, we all have different personalities. Some of us are more shy than others to speak up, when we have a team. And some people will speak up actually even more so than others. So ensure that there's a balance. Those who don't speak up, encourage them, like literally, not call them out in a negative way, but ask for their feedback within the context of, the check-ins. And then for those that maybe may speak up a bit more than others, you can ask them to give a chance to the other people, because sometimes some of us, some of the people, I don't do it, but some of the people may have a tendency to take over the whole meeting. And if you as a lead are not very careful, they may actually run the meeting. So just make sure that everyone is given a chance to speak. So the sixth one, and the final one, is that you as the lead, the project lead, as the manager, project manager, you have to ensure that you actually listen to the feedback, because people want to feel that they're being listened to. And that is very, very important. So what you want to do is that you want to take some action wherever appropriate or possible. You want to show that you are actually listening to the team members. And the thing that is, if you're not able actually to do whatever some of the suggestions have been, that the feedback they provided, at least have some kind of communication. You may not tell them why. And I say this because many times a person who is leading a team, a person who is a project manager, you tend to have more information than the rest of the team. They may not know what you know. So if in some cases they may make a suggestion of how maybe something should be done within the context of the project or the solution that you're working on, all of you, is that you let them know. At least have a way to let them know. Maybe that at this point we are not able to work on that suggestion, or this we can table it, it will be worked on later. But make sure that you communicate that and don't just ignore people. Okay. So again, take action, and not only just to make people happy, but that they're creating solutions also of how to make things better. So, those are the things that can help to improve the communication and team and collaboration of the teams. Now, here I'm first talking about the high level. There's definitely other things, especially when we talk about collaborations, things like tools and, what tools are we using that would allow that. That is not part of this, and I'll talk about that some in another video that'll be coming up. But for now, those are the things I want to talk about. When you are creating a team, what are the first things you want to do to ensure that you're mitigating any problems that may come down the road, especially when you have new teams, especially when you have maybe big projects that people are working on. You want to make sure that you address those things right in the beginning versus later on, because you really will be stopping some problems from happening. As with any teams, or there will be some problems, some misunderstandings. So you want to make sure that you are really communicating and helping people understand. Okay, so those are our three most basic things. If you have any others that you can suggest, certainly I would love to hear them. So please feel free to subscribe for more tips that I'll be sharing with you. And also, I would kindly ask you, to subscribe, but also I would kindly ask that if you have any comments, please go ahead and, and share with me and let me know. Anyway, so in summary, we want to communicate for new teams. Those will be done differently. You want to introduce everyone and let everyone know what each team member brings to the team. to create the overall team that will help with the solution of the project that's being worked on. For existing teams, it's certainly okay that actually we have told everyone, because people will know by the time who the team members are, what they're great at and what maybe they may not be as good at, and therefore we can easily let them know what the goals are, for the team and also for the project. The other thing, number three, is we communicate our goals and expectations. Okay. And then number four, have accessibility where people can find those documents or documentation, anything that has to do with the project or the work that's being worked on. And then create a cadence whereby there are check-ins to ensure that there's consistent communication and people are not left to their own devices, that you as a leader are really checking in on them and letting them know at least consistently what they should be doing, what the visions are, what they need to be working on, for example, as a priority. Okay. And then also number five, we need to have let people feel part of the solution. Therefore, we need to let them give feedback. We need to let them listen to them, and also that no matter what, for their feedback, if it's something that is helpful, certainly that we are listening to each and every one. And as part of that, that you're ensuring that each and every part of the team member at least has a chance in their say. It doesn't mean that every team member is going to say something at every meeting, but just be cognizant that people are not feeling like they can't talk because they're shy versus some other people. Okay. And then the last part is number six, ensure that you take action from the feedback that you've gotten, because also there may be things you as a leader that you can't see that the team actually sees because they're the ones doing the work, the deeper work, okay? And so ensure that you are taking that feedback and taking action from it. And if you're not able, that's also okay, but just communicate to the team. This way they know that they're being listened to and they don't assume that they're being ignored. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. Again, please feel free to subscribe. I'd really be grateful that you subscribe. And if anything was stood out for you, let me know what it was. What do you think was helpful? In addition, also, what could you add to that? So let me know. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.